and welcome to Global Morning in beautiful Sunday evening. It's good to have you on the program. We're excited to see your face, just like we're looking relaxed here in the studio. I hope your Sunday is going well. I hope you're in church, or if you're not in church, I hope you're in the mosque, because it's time to go and worship God and tell him thank you for the gift of life. I am Anita Patrick, and I won't be doing this alone. I have my co-pilot always sitting looking handsome with me in the studio, the President of Mukhtar. Mukhtar, how are you doing this morning?
It's a beautiful morning. Hello Abuja, hello Nigeria.
Good to
and
see
hello
you.
the delectable, beautiful lady herself.
Oh my God.
You're looking like $1 million this morning. And I kid you not.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mukhtar. It's a beautiful Sunday, and we're excited to be here with you because we have loads of information lined up for you, lots of things to be discussing about. We'll start with a newspaper review, which is part of our rundown. We have taste and texture. We also have a conversation that I feel you need to join also in the conversation and help us dissect this and tell us what you feel, how you feel this can be done better. All of this, all encompassing in our conversation today. Don't go anywhere, because I tell you, it's going to be an amazing one. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's still Global Morning, and like we told you, we have a rundown of activity for you today. Let's start off freshly with the newspaper review, which is what we have lined up for you this morning. We have the likes of The Nation, we have the Sun newspaper, we have the Punch newspaper, we have This Day, and the Vanguard newspaper. All of this having their bold headlines screaming loud what's happening in the nation here in Nigeria. So let's start with the Nation newspaper.
Yes, the Nation's newspaper has this very bold headline, and the kicker here is 2027, and it says ADC struggles for presence in Lagos, Kaduna, Enugu, Delta, and others.
That should not be surprising at all. It also says state leaders await directives from Abuja. That's to tell you that ADC, the coalition, as is said to be, is getting ready for 2027, ensuring that all states are covered, ensuring that they have all the candidates they will have from the ward level to council level to governors, and if possible.
Of course, you know, it's a party that is still, even though it's not new, but the force now is emerging. So it's not going to be easy gaining ground across the country. So they have to put in a lot of legwork to ensure that they are represented across all parts of the country. Okay,
let's see other headlines that says, have the one that says boldly there, Obi in dilemma over presidential ticket. It says there below, chances dim in ADC, Labour Party LP, and PDP, and that's on page 2. You have that. That's telling you that Obi is being dragged here and there.
Honestly, people are saying, is he joining the coalition? Is he going back to his original Labour Party? And would he get the ticket?
Obviously, with 6 million votes in 2023, what do you expect? A lot of parties want to drag him to see that
he is a formidable candidate. For the opposition.
That'll be when he goes across the party level, party primaries. Okay, let's move away from that. We have Gbenga Daniel Dapo Abiodun in fresh face-off with a rider that says ex-governor alleges plan to demolish his house, hotel orders, allegation not true, says Ogun government. You have that in page, I think page 6 there of the Nation newspaper.
Certainly we do.
Okay.
And if you look below the mass headlines, you would see Tinubu, Akpabio, Akume, others mourn ex-PDP chair Audu Ogbe. Yesterday we received the sad news about the passing of former Agric Minister Audu Ogbe, who is a statesman in his own right and has contributed immensely to the development of our nation, Nigeria.
Well, that's one agric minister who had the knowledge, who wanted to change the narrative in agriculture here in Nigeria. But we pray for the family to be comforted, because it's not easy to lose a loved one. That's always a challenge that comes with when someone goes away and joins the great beyond.
And one thing I like about him, it is longevity. He has been in politics and he has been contributing his quota since when he was a young person. He was a minister in the 80s while he was in his early 30s, and you see how he has been a main actor in Nigeria's political system all through those years. So he is one that will be greatly missed in this nation.
He'll be greatly missed because he's one who has added value to governance. But let's move away from that and see where you have police. Sowore not tortured, in custody, detention lawful. That's on page 7. Sowore and
Police, they've been going back and forth with the IG. He was released yesterday and he said he was tortured. Now the IG is giving a rebuttal saying, we did not touch you. So it's a drama.
He's one person who has always had his own drama when it comes to police detention and all that. We just hope the narrative can change some
Yes,
with this person.
certainly. He's always in the limelight.
Oh, I'm telling you. So let's move away from that. We have Kumuyi speaks on secession, says, I will not be blackmailed to quit. That's on page 8 of the Nation newspaper there. And that has to do with the faith. The church is growing big and the man is growing elder. So he's saying he will not be blackmailed to quit.
Of course.
He feels he has the energy to move. So why tell him to quit?
I don't see a reason why he should quit, except maybe when he is not able to do the
Exactly.
calling. But as long as he's in the system
And he
he's
has
still
the
able,
calling.
and he has that calling, of course, why would you force him to quit?
And
He
he
has
has the
put in
strength.
so many years, and then now that
He's built the place
Built the
over
place and then
time.
you
He's
tell him to
made it
step. No,
easy.
no.
All right, let's move away and let's see what's happening in terms of security. We have here gunmen adopt 9 passengers in Kogi.
same old insecurity across
That's
the
on
nation.
page 2. You need to find out what's happening. I hope they be rescued. A rescue mission is on the way for that one. But for more of the story, look at page 2 of the Nation newspaper. Well, that's the much we can take there on the Nation newspaper, which is screening here on the headline. Let's move away quickly to the Punch. The Punch newspaper has its own headline there. It's speaking boldly, still talking about 2027. It says 2027, Atiku delays ADC membership card collection and rumored Jonathan comeback.
That's another one. Atiku now, they've said he doesn't want to commit to that party, seeing maybe they might not give him the ticket, since Jonathan might be in the offing for 2027 permutations.
You know the interesting thing, that 2027 is going to be very interesting.
It certainly would be.
Let me the political saying it's going to be very interesting. Let's see how this pans out, because we already have the ruling party in position who are also not letting go on.
They're not resting on their
laurels at all. They are
Excessively.
ensuring that they put their house together, ensuring that across all boards they capture as much state as they can capture as well. But let's see what the writer there says. It says ex-VP dismisses threats as ADC chieftain says party courting Jonathan. Aregbesola boasts of victory, says God with coalition. Abdullahi knocks critics. Well, all of those stories is in page 3 and 4 of the Punch newspaper. So you can quickly pick up that paper and it gives you more details to that story.
Yes.
Let's look at both the mastheads. We have, it says, Tinubu, Obasanjo, others pay tributes to ex-minister Ogbe. They are still talking about the minister in the late president's administration. It's quite... I don't know. It's the president, the former president just also passed on, and here we have it under his minister also going the same course.
It's a sad one,
It's
but
a
like you
sad
said,
one.
they've really paid their dues
They
to the
paid their
nation.
dues, that's
So
it.
They are real patriots of our great nation.
They have.
And moving away from that headline, you see just beside it, it says tinted glass permit. Police silence feels anxiety over August 12th deadline.
You know, the tinted glass permit has been one thing who...
It's been a subject of
Yes,
controversy
it's
for
been a subject of
many years.
for many, and we just police has been quiet about it, like you've seen here. So, and the deadline for all of those
It's
things.
12th of August.
So let's see. Okay, we hope that all of this will be resolved and people will be comfortable to move around with their vehicles in that one. We also have there, beside the masthead there, with a picture, they're boldly saying 2027 politics behind Abiodun's move to demolish Daniel's house. PDP, that's on page 10.
Ogun politics.
Interesting one, you may say. Let's move away from that as well. Suffering and smiling. Tales of Nigerian nurses, endless sacrifice with poor pay. This is still...
We've spoken about, I remember talking about this even last week, and it's still making the rounds because it is a topic that cannot be ignored. The welfare of your health workers should be sacrosanct.
True.
It is something that you cannot really take for granted, and our government has to come in and salvage the health sector. There's a crisis currently going in that
And it's not going to help us at all if the health sector is still going to struggle with that. That's something that needs to be paid attention to ensure that there's an end result or a final decision taken on all of this.
Because we cannot keep, exactly, we can't be suffering and smiling. We can't keep losing our best hands to
other nations,
basically.
Okay, let's move away from that conversation. We have expel Wike, Otom from PDP. Lamido tells party leadership.
They've accused him of anti-party activities.
So much more. And he's telling you that he's not leaving PDP. He's still a party member.
Still a member.
Interesting one there. Well, this is an internal stuff within the party.
Yes, it's an internal crisis,
and they will find a way around themselves because the PDP are also picking up from their the issues in their houses to resolve ahead of 2027. So let's see how that pans out for them and see how the narrative can change for them ahead of 2027. All right, let's see other stories making around there. If we can quickly take one more, we have still the same story here around the police. Police detention experience pushed me to study law. 71-year-old backup graduate.
Wow, 71. And he
That's
went back. No, honestly, it is appalling that police continue to sometimes detain people illegally and infringe on their fundamental human rights. And we see things like this push people. Someone that is 71 should ideally be a retiree, relaxing with his family.
But there's nothing wrong with age and going back to school.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong.
Yes, but then again, he should not be pushed.
Is it the intention you're talking about?
The intention, exactly. Why should he be detained unlawfully that would ginger him to go back to school? But of course, going back, it's never too late to achieve your dreams, certainly.
There's always a motivation to move one, to get back to picking up his career and fixing and getting to that.
Wherever it is you are.
That particular height one wants to attain in life.
Certainly.
So congratulations to the 70-year-old.
I drop my heart for him. It's not easy.
Telling you.
At that age, going back to study law and graduating, it's a great feat. Certainly.
Congratulations to him, and we hope that you just do more than just because you were detained at some point.
And now I hope he uses this degree he has to also advocate for other people who might be legally detained. He should give back to the community.
All right, we hope he does that. So let's move away from that paper. There, let's look at This Day. This Day newspaper has its own big headline, moving away from the 2027 election. It says NNPC exists Buhari era road tax credit scheme after paying $577 million, and we also have it has 822 billion naira in 16 months, and we also have the rider there that says FG shops for 3 trillion naira to fill funding gaps. Yes. Then you have NNPC to focus on more core business functions.
This is all about our oil sector and how to revamp it. We've seen the crisis in that sector. We've seen fuel go high. We've seen many issues around imports and all. So I think if these things are implemented to the latter, it might just be a turning point for our health, for our oil sector, that is. Okay,
that's to see that's how economic growth can be more put into place and seeing how businesses can thrive and all that. So let's move away from that. We have what it says above the mask before we get down to the politics down there. Still talking about the loss of Audu Ogbe. We have Tinubu, Obasanjo, Jonathan, Atiku, Northern Governors, Alia Akume, Saraki, Mark, others mourn Audu Ogbe. All of that showing that he's actually contributed his quota to the governance of Nigeria. So, Mukhtar, we have there, we're talking about ADC.
I see a very interesting headline that has caught my fancy. It says, Amechi, I'll defeat Tinubu if ADC gives me ticket. I know his weakness. And then there are many riders there. He claims that Obi won presidential election in River State, denies ever engaging in election rigging, says electoral malpractice involves governors, diversion of public funds via government agencies. And the last rider here is challenges Wike to take a walk along the streets of Port Harcourt to prove his popularity.
Interesting. Politics has its own interesting stories, always making the rounds. When it comes to politics, you cannot take it from them. You always have counter and
going back and forth.
Back and forth.
But this is a very audacious statement saying he will defeat the incumbent president if the ADC gives him the ticket.
Like I said, 2027 is going to be interesting. So let's keep our fingers crossed
Certainly.
while all of this banters gets us ready
moving.
for 2027. I see a very small, very tiny, above, below the master. It says, after Ribado, NCC's intervention, diesel suppliers resume supply to MTN, Airtel, Globalcom, Nine Mobile. That's on page 6 or thereabouts, where you have talking about the supplies there for the engagement to the telecos and all that. So we hope that it will change, because it's been really dragging. I think probably because of the weather right now, I will say.
The network,
the services
like
has
say,
not been helpful at all.
Has not really been helpful. We've been having jams up and there. So maybe this move would lead to better network coverage.
Okay,
hopefully.
All right, let's move away from that particular paper we just wrapped up there with that paper. Let's go to the Vanguard. This day we're done with this day. Let's take the Vanguard newspaper. The Vanguard newspaper has its own very big headline. They're still talking about the ADC politics. Peter Obi divides the North. So let's start with the first one that says, prove we can trust you.
I think that's the northern leaders to Peter Obi now.
That's to Peter Obi. It says, prove we can trust you. Peter Obi divides the North. Then we have a writer there that says, Northern elders, groups, others split over one-term pledge. And and then you have a writer there that says, presidential aspirants makes case for 5-year single term for president.
Well, for me, it's not about the term. Even though someone can see it can have a good impact, saying, okay, you only have one chance. If you do not do well, there's no room for you saying, I'll come back next time. This is your one and only chance. And other people are saying, okay, you need more than one
time to prove your
point. So basically, I think it's about the political will and intentionality of whoever it is at the helms of affair. They can give you 10 terms and you might not deliver.
Exactly.
You might have one good term and you make an impact. We've seen leaders across the world, Mandela and their likes, who served only one term and they were able to make a lasting impact. And we've seen people who are sit-tight leaders across Africa and other continents who have not really developed.
So let's hope. You know, the interesting in Nigeria, we're a religious nation. We love.
We always believe God is always going to deliver.
You know, I'm stating that this is what he says here. He said, God is on ADC's side. Ariq Oshola is speaking boldly there. On page
Everybody
5.
will say God is on their side.
Of course,
God's for everybody.
It's for everyone there. And then we have gang up against Tinubu will fail. That's coming from Sam Ojo on page 21 there. Okay, let's also look for other headlines there. We have 11 governors with legislative experience. That's on page 10. So you need to find out what it means. Why he's telling us that 11
governors have legislative experience.
Are you telling us that they can add to the the proceedings and all that? So let's find out on that paper. Pick up that paper.
And that's page 10.
And that's on page 10 of the Vanguard, Sunday Vanguard there. Let's look above the masthead there. We have Daniel Ogun government disagree over alleged plan to demolish ex-governor's residence hotels. Talking about Ogun politics there, where we have Daniel and the state governor talking on their own side. Loggerheads
back and forth.
It's not it's not something new when it comes to
Nigerian politics, especially.
We always have all of those playing out. We have another story making the rounds there. Let's quickly look at another story here. It says Governor Yusuf sacks aides linked to suspected drug baron, palliative diversion. That's on page 5.
Yes, that's a good one. I think it's a right step in the right direction if they have been found wanting. Because we've seen government officials engage in sharp practices and go unpunished. So I think Governor Yusuf is sending a statement, a clear statement that things like this might not be tolerated. And I think other governors should take a cue from this. If you find people who you've appointed wanting or fall short of their expectations, then you're allowed to dismiss them. And that would send a statement and warning to other people not to engage in practices like this.
Okay, we hope that catches them. So let's see what's happening in Niger. Niger death toll rises to 16. That's cholera. That's not a good story at all. One life is actually very important. So having 16 of them going away. Okay. I'm sure the authorities are looking into that deeply. That's on page 5 of Sunday Vanguard. Then we have the woman page We have African women have been boxed into small traders' side. Into small traders, side hustlers. That's coming from Ibukun Awosika. So are you really saying that maybe in some aspects?
Well, I think, well, if you ask me, it might not be a level playing field, but I think women are not where they used to be.
They're not where they used to be. Women are changing the narrative. Women are speaking up. Women are saying it's time to brace up. It's time to take up my career path and fix myself. Except for even those who are not well educated still want to make the difference.
Certainly.
It's not even about the classroom education right now. It's about even the natural intelligence is playing out the need to drive themselves to become entrepreneurs and become great minds and also leave a mark in whatever field or whatever opportunity they find themselves. Women are also trying to, even if they've been pushed, it's not like that day anymore. But we can pick up that people on page 25 and see maybe it's a different narrative for her. Yes. Based on maybe conversations she's had over time with women, because I know she's one woman who speaks more on issues like this.
Gender-based issues.
You know, yes. And then she can speak more on and tell you why that's happening. Let's look at, away from politics, away from all of this, let's see what's happening in entertainment. The
assurance. Assurance.
We have our own person here who has assured his wife finally in the white wedding that was held in Miami. Davido and Chioma have actually finally tied the knots, which they've been craving to do that for a long time. And finally, it has happened. So we say congratulations to them, and we wish them all the best in this love journey they have put themselves together for. We wish them all the best, and we say
forever.
Love is a beautiful thing. Embrace it when you find one, and enjoy the moment. I
actually respect Davido a lot, even though he has issues. The fact that he's able to man up, because we've seen celebrities have issues with commitment, not being able to settle down, chasing the fanfare, but he has made that bold step
to stay.
And I hope this is one that would last forever, like I said.
We wish them all the best. Let's quickly take the last paper here. We have the Sun. The Sun newspaper here is just talking mostly on sport, but let's take this story here about Liam's lifts. That's the bold headline there. You have Liam's lifts. Star flies his rape charged brother to Oasis show in 3.5 million pounds private jets.
Why do stars have always controversies? I
don't know.
And
and let's just leave that story from another. That's basically that's the major headline making the rounds.
There's one below here, which is football. Manchester United fans, I think they might be smiling. It says 74 million pounds. Sesko joins United.
The EPL is going to be hot this time around.
Man United especially, I hope they've invested in their attack. They've had 3 new faces in that attack, and I hope it will turn their fortunes around, because they didn't really have a good outing in the EPL last season.
Okay, we wish them all the best, and we hope that they have a good one in the EPL when the season's Premier League starts.
Certainly.
Fully. Well, that's all we have for you on the newspaper review segment there, telling you all the stories making the rounds and how much more that the narrative is changing, looking from politics to entertainment to business. Hopefully, we'll get there as a nation and we'll smile.
Amen. We shall get there.
We'll smile and do well. Well, that's it. Let's take you quickly to taste and texture. After that, we'll be back to have a conversation and you discuss with us. We'll have that discussion here, talking about safety measures and all that, protocols, putting in place, and then the conversation, we just want to jump into this conversation. Safety measures in the aviation sector, in terms of protocol, all of those we bring to you after taste and texture. See you then after that.
How to prepare fried plantain and egg sauce for breakfast. Hello everyone and welcome to the program Taste and Texture. Today we are going to be preparing delicious Nigerian delicacy and we will be preparing it from scratch. Preparing fried plantain and egg sauce is essential for making Nigerian traditional breakfast. To prepare fried plantain and egg sauce, you'll be needing 1. Some few pieces of fresh sweet ripe plantain. 2. A clean bowl and a knife. 3. A frying pan. 4. Oil. Procedure 1. Cut or dice your ripe plantain. 2. Add salt. 3. On a low heat, fry your plantain in a hot oil. Fry till golden brown. How to make egg sauce step by step. 1. Wash and chop your vegetables. 2. Place frying pan with oil and onions on fire. 3. Add chopped sweet pepper. 4. Add chopped tomatoes and all veggies. 5. Add spices of your choice. 6. Add whisked eggs. 7. Stir for a few minutes. 8. Serve with fried plantain and egg sauce is ready. That is it for today's episode of the program, Taste and Texture. Hope you will try this recipe in your various homes and hope you enjoyed the program. Join me same time next week for another edition of the program. I am Sadia Yakubu saying thank you for watching.
Welcome back. I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm even saying you've enjoyed because I'm feeling filled up already. Thank you, Sadia, for that beautiful one. Telling me what to prepare my mind for if I want to go with the choice you've just displayed for us on the screen. There we have egg sauce and plantain. That might be my breakfast after the program this morning. I probably just go home and just make that and take it with something hot because the weather is a bit chilly. In the sense that it's a bit cold here, and I hope that I can enjoy that wonderful meal for my own breakfast. Today we will be having a conversation around aviation safety protocols, following the trend of the conversation making the rounds on the Kwam1, who is Wasiu Ayinde, the veteran Fuji musician who is popularly known as Kwam1. We will be talking about aviation safety protocols. How safe should one be safe from the part of the pilots and also the passengers and also the officials in the cabin crew to ensure that Nigerians or wherever is traveling is safe. Look at all of this conversation and also play you tidbits here and there of how all of those panned out in the course of the week. Don't forget that this drama started playing out from the 5th of August where the Fuji star had his own melodrama there with the pilots and the cabin crew there at the airport. Mukhtar, you saw that
yes, we've seen
whole
the
conversation, the video that made the rounds,
yes.
you know, and I kept asking the question, why do we celebrities all of this playing out? So you can see displayed there on the screen where that particular incident took place, and from what we have there, he said it was an altercation that accumulated in the airline breaching safety protocols. Yes. And I kept asking why, because we travel all the time, we see all of these things happening every now and then. The incident occurred on the 5th of August, which, like I said, at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport there, where Kwam1 who was at the foot of the aircraft on the pre-departure checks of the value jet plane, was seen sipping from a flask and was approached by flight attendants who suspected that the contents was alcohol. And alcohol a substance is that's the substance that is prohibited on board aircrafts in Nigeria, even across
the world.
You know, because
it's
not something, because those are flammables that could also
ignite a fire.
So when he was approached, and then the attendants then asked the musician to give up the flask, Kwame refused, saying the flask contained a medication prescribed by his doctor. As tempers flared, that's what you're seeing on the screen. Tempers flared, Kwame reportedly spilled the substance on the ValueJet personnel. And then on August 6th, still playing out footages of this act was displayed on the web. We saw all of this happening. We have where the musician docking the wing of the plane as the aircraft abruptly taxied on the runway went viral. You can see there where he was right in front. For me, when you look at safety measures, this act is even a terrorist attack.
Honestly,
if you ask me,
because this
you can't stand in front
of
a flight
who's
about to take off.
Certainly,
you know, that's actually a wrong approach. And then you see the officials of the airline could be seen asking Fuji artists to leave the front of the aircraft as the pilots and the ground crew prepared for takeoff. Yet he was still there, saying he had an event to attend to. He has to board, that he cannot do that to him. You know, Kwame was seen still clutching to his flask there, insisting that it had nothing to do with the substance they claimed or they alleged he was carrying. With the mobile phone pressed to his ear, a voice hollered, "What is all this?" amid the roar of the aircraft engine and the din from the airports. In the video, you saw him stand, as I mentioned earlier, and all of this did not really speak well, because if you are a public figure, in my own opinion, that's what it's supposed to be. If you're a public figure, you shouldn't have people are looking up to you. A lot of things will definitely come back to haunt you somehow, because you can't be doing one good and the next minute you allow your emotions take the better part of you. Maybe something went wrong. Even if, okay, so I asked the questions, how did he go through the pre-checks, the VIP checks? Are the VIP, is it because he's a VIP? Or, you know, this has similar cases that happened even with other public public figures and also celebrities. Why is it always happening with celebrities, not a common man?
Well, first of all, he said he went through protocols and it was only at the latter stages that he filled it. Let's say that's even the case. They've told you that this is the law. You cannot take this into the airplane.
Yes.
It's very simple. You obey laws. The laws are meant to be obeyed, regardless of who you are. Whether you're a celebrity, whoever it is you are, we are all bound by laws. So for someone like him, who is in the public eye, who is a revered figure because he has actually paid his due in his own right, so he's someone who many people look up to. So I think he didn't set a good example, certainly. He should have known better.
And asked better. Because that's not something that should have come from someone who is highly respected and looked up to by a whole lot of his fans who have said, this is our Egbon.
Yes,
but I think it was just a part where emotions just got in the way, and he actually, and then looking at what happened, all of that, we also saw where the Federal Airport Authority also came out speaking to the issue, saying that was not supposed to be done in that way. There was a press release. A press release that came up from Fan Authority reported that the legend tried to board the ValueJet flights with an unauthorized flask containing liquid, later identified as alcohol, contravening aviation security rules, and which limits liquids over 100 milliliters without proper declaration. And when asked to step aside, he allegedly refused and even spilled the liquid on the security officer. He then reportedly stood at the front of the aircraft, blocking its parts until removed by officers.
So he said it's not alcohol, but regardless whether it's alcohol or not, like we said earlier, rules are the rules.
These are rules. And then we also have where the pilots came down herself despite to find out what the issue was, why the noise, and looking at the fact that they needed to take off, safety, she was trying to find out, and all that. She couldn't take all of these things. She said she needed to go. She was thinking of the safety
of the other
passengers who were on board the aircraft. So all of those things are and then for her own parts, like I said, we're going to look at the measures. Let's look at, although she's been suspended alongside her co-pilots because of the safety measures they had breached.
because they said they were not allowed. They were not supposed to move while he was there.
Exactly.
They should have made sure he was evacuated before the movement.
Did you see the way he ducked his head?
I certainly did.
He
didn't speak well of him.
He didn't speak well at all. The way he ducked his head to avoid the wind, because the winds were coming out already, and
he could have lost his
he would
life.
have lost his life. So sometimes let's not allow our emotions get in the way and get carried away, or sometimes get I don't know how to put a better word to describe what I feel. Let's try and manage our emotions in the case.
Better.
Several times I have traveled. I have had a similar encounter where you get the checks and all that. You see the VIPs or the business class want to get in. Yes, you have your money, but I also tell people character should speak better. You have your money shouldn't mean you should be unruly or you should act in a way that shouldn't speak well of you.
And funny enough, some of these people, not to denigrate anybody, but they do this only when they are within the shores of the country.
Exactly.
When they go to other countries where
They
the rules,
behave
they behave themselves in a very orderly manner. So why can't you do the same in your own home country, Nigeria?
Okay, well, let's see what the NCCA also says. You know, the NCCA is the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, and its primary bodies responsible for regulating and enforcing aviation safety standards. The NCCA also ensures that the airlines adhere strictly to regulations that aligns what's called that's covering aircraft's maintenance, crew operation, and other operational procedures. You know, so let's look at some protocols, some aviation safety protocols here in Nigeria. That's we have the regulatory framework. The Civil Aviation Act of 2022 is a principal legislation governing the aviation industry in Nigeria. The Act empowers NCCA to regulate all of that. And so let's look at key safety measures. What are the key safety measures when you want to go? We should look at aircraft maintenance. They have to ensure that everyone is put in place. The cabin crew have their meetings, and the pilot undergoes rigorous training to handle various situations and emergencies. And we also have the operational procedures. Airlines must follow established operational procedures for safe flight operations, which includes pre-flight checks and in-flight procedures. You know, so those are the questions I asked. If he was really checked, that's because I know when I'm traveling and I have like a bottled water in my hand, well, probably I was taking it while in the waiting room, and it's time to tell me I can't go on there, you know, and I drop it and go on. So if you have a flat, probably it was a baby, would have understood he was carrying a child, you know, who you wanted to, but you're not carrying a child. If you had a medication,
like he said he's dehydrated, you know, and he needed to stay hydrated.
They would have given you on
the board.
If you wanted, if you felt it was really, but if it was a medication, like he said it was a medication, you would have specified and not create the chaos.
True.
You know, so little things can be done and easily avoid all of those things. Let's look at also the safety culture. Airlines are also ensured to foster a stronger safety culture that prioritizes risks assessments and continuous improvements. So we looked at the risks. Yes, the pilots herself didn't. I guess she also got in the her emotions also got in the moment of that, and she also felt you're breaching the protocol for me for the safety of other passengers. I can't have you on board causing chaos and not allowing others have a safe flight to their destination because you feel you're bigger than other people and all that. But the interesting thing here that got me really excited, and I felt okay, he's shown his remorse despite being suspended indefinitely. Initially, it was a 6 month
suspension.
It was a 6-month suspension for Kwan that he won't be able to have intra travels within Nigeria, but while pending the investigation that is ongoing to see what really went wrong, how these were breached, if protocols were breached from his end, from the departure measures and that was supposed to put in place for him to be pending all of that. He's been indefinite, he's been moved to indefinite, suspended indefinitely until the investigation is concluded. But we have a video of him where he apologized to his fans and to Nigerians, being a public figure who's been in the public space and the limelight for so long. You know,
he's a legend, literally, in his own space.
You know, in his own space, and he has actually added value. So he had this apology. We'll just quickly take the apology of the Fuji legend there. Let's take him, and then we'll come back to the conversation.
Alaji now. Not Alaji, I'm saying.
Good afternoon, gentlemen and ladies of the press here present. My name is Olasukomi Ayinde Marshall, also known as K1 The Ultimate. I am here to make clarification of the incident that happened on the 5th of August 2025 at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport local wing while about to board aircraft from Abuja to Lagos. The incident is highly regrettable because I have contributed the better part of my life in the past 50 years to the growth and development of Nigeria, my country, art and culture, both in and out of the country. I've been a good ambassador of this great nation, in and out, in very many ways. Somebody like me should not be found in such incidents. I accept responsibility and appealing to Mr. President, the country, the Honorable Minister for Aviation, the FAAN, the NCAA, and my fans across the globe to please pardon my behavior. Number one, I passed through 2 checkposts and the content of my cup was screened. Need to say I have any content in the cup. Until I got to the lounge while awaiting the boarding of the aircraft, I pour water in it because of my health situation. I need to be sipping water because I'm dehydrated, as recommended by doctor to me. Like I said, I take full responsibility of all incidents. Once again, I seek forgiveness from Mr. President, the Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is also my father and father of the nation, the Honorable Minister for Aviation, the pilot, the airline staff, passengers, and above all, my fans across the globe, my family, for the incident. My love for the country is unshakable. I am still the darling ambassador of our nation, and I will continue to carry the banner of this great country everywhere all my life. Thank you once again. Please accept my apology.
Well, there you have it, where the legend made his apology and said he's still an ambassador of Nigeria and he still wants to represent the nation in good lights. Mukhtar, is that apology something that should downplay the acts, or you think further actions should be taken after the investigation is concluded?
Well, first of all, they say to err is human and to forgive is divine. That's certain. But the apology, good as it is, doesn't exonerate him from the act. We've already done that act, and we have laws, like we said. So I think the law should take its course on him, not because he deserves it, or not because he is who he is, but because we need to send a message to other people to see that nobody is above the law, regardless of who you are, whether you are a darling or you are just an ordinary person. If you err, then the law should take its course on you.
Okay, like he said, he went through a lot of protocol checks until he got to the lounge where he had to wait for the time for his aircraft to take off, and he had to put in water. That's the side, his own side of the story.
Absolutely.
And like we said, there's an investigation ongoing, looking at what the press release that was brought in by FAN. FAN also stated that they were going to carry out this. That's why they took immediate action by ensuring that they gave him the suspension indefinitely pending when the investigation is concluded. And also the pilot side, I like the fact that he also apologized to the pilots and also the passengers who were supposed to be
His actions would have actually traumatized a lot of people.
a lot, because people would have been scared because seeing the fact or hearing the whole noise around the aircraft before takeoff and all of those facts, people that looked up to him. I like the fact that he has actually come out to say he's sorry. Because let's look at the security procedures where you're boarding an aircraft. We have the baggage screening, which is part of the things he said he was screened.
Yes.
The baggage screening is something you prepare to have your carry-on and check baggage screened by security personnel. Apparently, they should have checked him and confirmed. I think he got flayed up or he got really angry because he felt, you've checked me before and getting into. But let's look at the content. Let's say, be prepared to have your carry-on pad, like I said, then liquids, aerosol, and gels. Ensure any liquid, aerosol, or gel in your carry-on comply with the airlines and destination countries regulation. Usually containers of 100 milliliters or less. So if you were carrying water, it should not simply be, I'm carrying water because, okay, if you don't want me to take out the water, let me take out the water. And when I'm on board, of course, there's a package given to you based on your package for your travels. If you feel you are dehydrated, you could request for water.
You see, courtesy is very important. Even if you are, the way you present yourself, the way you speak, actually says a lot. So who knows the process that took place in that particular period. So I feel communication is maybe a breakdown of communication. So if he had explained himself in a courteous manner and they also understood, it should not have been a big deal. Certainly.
Like I mentioned earlier, Mutar, I said, why is it that it is always with public figures? Well, you know, I had an experience coming back from Lagos. I think that was like a month ago. I had where they had the queues for one to stand, and then the business class, like I said, or the VIPs will just come across, and then you see some airport officials or who want to quickly help them, aid them. Quickly shunt and get into the way, and I was standing right in front where my ticket was supposed to identify my ID card to get me cleared before, just like the pre-departure process. And then there was a celebrity that came right beside me and came with her child, and they just went past. And then the man right behind me, I think 2 steps behind me, he had to start screaming, but why do you people always want to shunt and take procedures? And she responded and said, it is money. If you want to pay, come and pay. It's business class. Pay for it and stop screaming.
The arrogance, the fact that you're
I ask myself sometimes, is it really about the money or is it about the attitude? Let's try and put ourselves together, because when we go out to the shores of Nigeria, we behave ourselves.
Well, someone said it's not the money. Someone says money brings out what you have in you. If you have humility in you and you have money will make you much more humble. If you're an arrogant person and then you come across money, then it amplifies the arrogance.
But is that supposed to be the way to handle things? That's what I keep asking people. Let's try to mold ourselves. Let's try to put ourselves in good light, especially when you are in the public space.
Yes. You're someone, like we said, people look up to you.
Yes.
So you have to set a good example.
Also, we're not trying to judge you celebrities or judge you public figures. We're trying to say, yes, we know sometimes people get attacky and just say things out of their usual, and it could trigger emotions and all that, but there are better ways to manage these things. There are better ways to put yourself, it's not sometimes I tell people, it's not everything you respond to. It's not everything you need to come to clarify yourself. As long as you're in the right path, on the right thing, like at that point, that experience outside the airport, I kept telling the lady, you don't need to say anything, you don't need to respond. They kept exchanging, they kept bantering at themselves. When we got into the what's it called, the bus conveying passengers from the waiting point to the aircraft where you need to board.
Yes.
They kept bantering,
exchanging
words, and I kept looking. I was like, you don't need to respond, you don't need to say anything. Just allow him to keep talking. If you know what you did was right, so keep moving.
Just move on.
So sometimes silence is quite better.
It certainly is. not everything deserves an answer.
It's not everything you need to respond to. So we'll just say, going forward, just like the investigation is ongoing right now, let the investigation get a conclusion. We've seen how measures have been put in place. A lot of Nigerians are saying, if we don't fix it now, it will keep repeating itself. I remember one time I was also delayed at the airport because somebody was coming.
Yes, I remember.
I told you.
Yes, and even before now, there was a story making rounds. A particular senator missed his flight, and he made a ruckus at the airport.
Exactly.
So this.
So all of those things, we need to find a way around it to ensure that the airports is effective, just like we see in other Western world where things are done properly. If we see these things out there and we like it and we want it to be a standard, we need to change the narrative. We need to sit up and fix what we need to fix in our nation, culture-wise, character-wise. Let's mold ourselves. This is cut across all certain things, even with traffic lights.
Exactly.
People beat traffic lights.
You see, when we go outside the country, we be like, this country is working.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science. They are very intentional about how they make their countries work. And if we want that to happen in our nation, we have to be willing to change ourselves. We blame government and say government has to do more. We are also the government.
The change begins with us,
It begins
right?
with all of us. Everybody is a stakeholder in this country. And if we want to see that change that we envy from other countries, we have to be willing to take responsibility. And if you're being punished, it's not because they don't like you, it's because we need the country to work. And for the country to work, decisive actions have to be taken.
Decisive actions have to be taken to ensure that the country works. That's what we're saying, and we're saying that it's good to do the right thing at the right time. Don't allow your emotions get in the way. Don't get flayed up. Don't try. And I tell people, one thing I practice a lot is advanced forgiveness. You know, before people trigger me to get to that point or anything, I try to manage my emotions. So we're saying that with all of this, because when you think of your safety, you think of yourself as a person.
Yes.
You think of people, how people perceive you as a public figure and what impacts you're leaving behind. A lot of people are looking up to you. It's not always accusing the authorities of being wrong of certain things. It is your character as a person that molds you. You know, the interesting thing about life is you could be all good all the time, and like my mom will always tell me, you know, while growing up, she always said a little drop of oil on a white clothes, it just messes up, and you'll be conscious to check. You know, just one little thing could just trigger, and it's just solve the good thing. You know, I can imagine the legend. There are years of impacts putting into his acts, and people enjoy what he gives back to society. And one thing people are already saying, how can he? You know, when the questions start coming to how can he, or how could she, or how
Someone
could
of this
you?
caliber.
You know, I'm not saying we cannot get triggered or we cannot get our emotions cannot get in the way
Because we're humans.
Because we're humans. I'm saying let's try and manage our emotions and ensure that a better part of us is always on the display when we're outside in the public space. And we'll always have our name speaking and shouting so loud and clear. Well, that's the much we can take on Global Money, because time is actually staring us in the face and we need to get going and allow other programming take the place. Mukhtar, it's been a very interesting conversation.
Of course, it's always an amazing time with you, and the conversation has been interesting. And I hope everybody who's listening out there has learnt one or two, and we are able to implement them in our daily lives.
All right, we hope we can implement good things, good character molding, have the narrative change. It's a new week starting from today, and we're wishing you the very best as we step into this new week. From here, I am Anita Patrick and Mukhtar.
And I am Mukhtar Kasim, saying have a lovely day and a lovely week ahead.
Have a lovely day. Take care of yourself.